Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Clash Masters here. And I'm here to talk about this demo that I played called Lost Soul Aside. I had to get that right. I've been, you know, we kind of getting it wrong a little bit here and there. The name. So, just forgive me if I might, butcher it up during, this conversation. But, I kind of wanted to play this game since I've seen it come out. It looked really good. I know it was by a Chinese developers studio and stuff like that, and they've been knocking a couple of good games out the park. With Stellar Blade and Black Myth Wukong, which I still need to play and showcase that. So I kind of wanted to give this one a peep, and waited for the demo. Just been busy with other stuff, and I actually got a chance to play it. And this one will be a little bit more not as long as Digimon, just because this is a newer IP. Lost Soul Aside was pretty good for the demo, I'm not gonna lie. The mechanics are definitely something to learn. There is a learning curve, but I will say, with the items that I was given, I really wish I was able to kind of go check out some of my items, my weapons and stuff like that, because everything was kind of locked, and that was like the only big takeaway from me, because I'm jumping into something, right? New IP. I don't really know how this game's going to be, how the things are going to play, what's really the story. So it just kind of threw me in for just, this is what it is. You're in the middle of the game. These are your items. You got to kind of figure it out on the fly, from your potions, your mega potions, or high potions, whatever they call it, to any kind of status effect that heals you. And I was thinking maybe there was some type of, I don't know, like SP or MP type of recovery, you know what I mean? But it didn't really have that. It didn't really seem to have that. I didn't know what the other two items really showcase, but I will say, just seeing the graphics look really good, look really great. Everything didn't look, bad. I will say that they definitely took their time in creating this game. They definitely did their thing while making the game. I really wanted to understand some of the weapon choices and some of the moves that you could do, because there is, like, I guess you go into like this transformation mode, and even in the tutorials, maybe I wasn't paying too much attention to it, but just playing it, I was just trying to figure out the kind of like the length of how to, okay, what could this do, the cooldown mode, the attack range and stuff like that. Is there a way I could kind of, read specific details of what things do? But since everything was kind of locked, you're kind of just there to kind of figure it out for yourself and explore, which that's never too bad, because you could always knock down a few of some easier enemies before fighting a boss fight, and to kind of learn how certain things work and how timing works. The tutorial, like I said, was also helpful and great, but they didn't get into those type of specifics for like the potions and stuff, which kind of was sad on that part. But going to just actual gameplay, as you can see here, I'm fighting one of the bosses. I guess they're fighting like some kind of holy order, and the dude was strong at first. Like I said, I was still trying to figure out some of the healing mechanics, but then going back for the second time and beating him, it was kind of crazy, because I guess some of the bosses kind of have like this shield you gotta have to knock down in order to get, to really chip some of their health. So I'm like, okay, so there's a limit, there's like a timer on how much damage I could deal each boss before this shield comes, where you got to knock down the shield in order to get to the health. It's one of those kind of games, so you're gonna have to figure out some of the boss's moves, how they play, how they operate, and then when's your best time to attack, and with what weapon. Obviously in this game they gave me kind of like a claymore, which would be, I guess, your two-handed sword, and then your basic sword, which is kind of like your light hand sword. I like the fact that you kind of mix and match the combos, obviously light attack, heavy attack, and you kind of use those into some good combos and whatnot. So that was, that's always a good thing to have, kind of stack up some of your stuff, wait for some of your other techniques or skill to kind of get off that cooldown number. So It was really cool for that instance. I was just a little bit more trying to understand the whole morph situation and transformation situation, but I'm pretty sure playing the actual physical game, it'll probably go into much more greater length of details. But the cool thing about it is, you know, your partner, I think it's called his Arena. Not too sure what he was, but I believe from playing the demo, they talk about, you know, humanity and all these things, and you would think they were humans, but I guess they're not. They probably evolved into something a little bit more. But it seems that Arena happens to be some sort of symbiote type dragon. I think maybe in the past he was a human and maybe gave his life up to some type of maybe magic or science. I'm not too sure. They didn't really dive too much of his background, but just seeing some of the vast knowledge he was talking about, you could tell maybe he's been around during our time of existence on the planet, or maybe he's just an entity that knows of our existence. But you know, so you kind of team up with him. He's kind of like your symbiote, more or less. You know, you're the host, he's a symbiote, he needs to survive. That's the kind of vibe I got from it, because it gave me a lot of Venom vibes. You know, the weapon, he turns into a weapon, he you know, you morph with him, you know, and he becomes like these big claws. He has all these other attacks. He's really more focused on making sure you're good, you're straight, as far as, like I said, you could see in the video, of just these obstacles and traversals. He's very helpful for that. So, you know, it's kind of like this unique thing. You guys are kind of partnered up, and he's making sure you're good, and also playing one of the bosses that he kind of had a similar thing. So I don't know if maybe Arena and that other, I'll say, symbiote entity knew one another in maybe the past life, or maybe they just knew, they could just sense one another's type of energy, or just sense that type of symbiote feeling, you know, that they might get. But he wasn't really too explored. I really wish we could kind of get a little bit more of his backstory, but like I said, once again, they kind of throw you into this game just to kind of sit back, enjoy how the mechanic would be, what it would be like to fight some of the bosses, get familiar with the movements, get familiar with a lot of other things. So, you know, that was really, really good. But, you know, for the most part, the game was great. The game was good. Definitely something I'm gonna probably get maybe when it goes on sale. You know, that's something I'll definitely grab. Like I said, I like the game. I like the presentation for the game, so it's definitely something that I'll definitely be playing on my channel. Like I said, definitely gonna be live streaming this one, and probably gonna do a much more deeper breakdown once I obtain the game and I beat the game and I give you guys my full review on this game. You know, so that way I could kind of get more of a fuller understanding of this game. But I think that's gonna conclude it right here, man. You know, soul lost aside, or lost soul aside, right? Whatever you guys want to call it. Post your thoughts in the comments down below. What you guys think of it? Was it good? Was it bad? And don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. You know, it's your boy Classmaster signing out. See you guys in the next one. Peace.